Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chef Mooney, a special edition. Today's recipe is the launch of the Keka's oven. It's brand new in Australia. You can purchase it now. I'll give you the details at the end of this video. It's also going to be available in the US, so don't panic for my US subscribers out there or anybody else who is looking at this video. If you want to grab hold of one of these ovens you think you might come in handy for you, then give it a shot. But first of all, you've got to see how it cooks. Now, when you go on to kekasoven.com, you will see there's a couple of videos up there. There's also a great instructional video that Eva's put together and her team. And we're going to launch these recipes today, starting with an Italian style meatball. Now, this oven here is extremely light. It only weighs just over 9 kilos. It's got a massive tray. You do a whole heap of cooking in this. You can feed up to 15 to 20 people with this. I've done it myself. I've cooked a roast dinner in this oven last week, along with some succulent chicken. And believe me, the meat is just to die for. It's really mouth-watering, locks all the steam inside. We're going to give you the first demonstration today with my Italian style spicy meatballs. So let's get cooking in the Keka's oven. Let's go over the ingredients, what we're going to use. At the back here I've got some minced meat, just beef. You can use pork, veal, whatever you like. I've got 1 kilo of that. I've got 2 large onions. I've chopped 1 pepper of each colour, 1 green, 1 red, 1 yellow. I've taken the seeds out and just taken the tops off. I've just roughly chopped them because I'm going to pop these into my food processor. I've got 5 slices of bread there at the back, 3 brown and 2 white. We're going to throw all of this into the food processor. I'm going to use about 2 kilos of tomatoes. So I've got the large tin here. You can buy these in your commercial shops that sell high bulk or high volume quality products. Or if you can't do that, just grab a couple of jars of crushed tomato or a couple of tins of crushed tomato from your supermarket. You're going to need around about 2 kilos of crushed tomato. We're going to pop in a little bit of Liam Perring's Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to pop in some chili for heat. And then we're going to use the standards. We're going to use barbecue sauce, a little bit of tomato sauce. This is a really nice original tomato sauce. It's nice and thick. A little bit of barbecue sauce, some American mustard, salt and pepper, and last but not least, to give that little Italian flavour right at the back there, if you can see that, we're going to use some beautiful fresh basil. And to bind it all together, I'm just going to add 3 eggs, and we'll see how we go. Depending on how sticky the mix is, we may even just put 2 in. But look, let's get it all together. You'll see all of this come together as we start the recipe for my Italian meatballs. Let's go. Okay, so we've got our meat ready to go. There are 2 other ingredients that we're going to add to this, and I forgot to tell you in the start of the video. We're going to add some garlic, about 2 cloves of garlic, and we're also going to add some fresh parsley. So, in no particular order, just toss all your ingredients in, small batches, and then just blitz and pop that straight into the meat. Nice and fine like that. And then just toss it straight into the meat and repeat until all the ingredients are chopped. And now it's time to do the bread. So pop the bread in and a couple of slices at a time and just pulse that until you get a nice fine bread crumb. Into our bowl. Repeat the process with the other 3 slices of bread, and I'm going to put in, I'm just going to break them up. I'm going to put in the chopped parsley and the basil now. I've got a nice couple of handfuls, 1 handful of each. I've kind of chopped them up a little bit, but let's toss in the rest of those breadcrumbs with the fresh basil. Now I'm going to put some chili flakes in because I want a little bit of heat in these meatballs. And now's the time to get your hands in here, and we just want to mix this all around And I reckon with this mix we're probably going to need, we'll try 2 eggs and we'll see what the consistency's like. If you want to wear gloves you can. I assure you I've washed my hands thoroughly. And they're going to be cooking these in the oven anyway, so give it a good mix. And now let's add the rest of the ingredients. A little bit of the tomato sauce, 3 tablespoons. Barbecue sauce, same deal, about 3 tablespoons. American mustard, just a little squirt. Again, about 3 tablespoons. Salt. Cracked black pepper. 2 eggs. Drizzle of Worcestershire sauce. And give it all a good mix. Just give it a roll like that. And you want them to stay together. There you go. Alright, we're going to roll these and get them into our Keka's oven. Okay, onto your baking tray, the Keka's oven baking tray. You want a good squirting of olive oil and just give that a rub around. And then you just place the meatballs on the tray. And we're coming close to the end of our mix now. And out of this 1 kilo mix with all your ingredients in there, you should get anywhere between 50 and 60 meatballs. That's going to keep you going for a little while. And they do freeze very well. Now, before they go into the oven, the easiest way to get a coating of oil on these so that they go nice and crunchy is spray. I've got some extra virgin olive oil spray. And I'm just going to give them a good spray over the top there. So we've got the oven heating up. You'll see directly to the right there are 2 red lights with the switches both down. The first switch and the second switch are both on, which means you have the top element and the bottom element going at the same time. Now, once that reaches 300 degrees, the lights will go off and we'll be able to pop our meatballs in for about 10 minutes on that nice hot heat, and then we're going to drop the temperature down. Okay, now we've come up to 300 degrees. It's now time to put them into the Keka's oven, so be careful here. It gets quite hot. Just open the door, and we want to get that in so that we don't lose too much heat. Straight in, and we'll give them about 10 minutes. We'll see how we go. Okay, we're about 8 minutes into the cooking process. On the side of the oven, you've got a vent there, and I've actually closed that vent over. I'm trying to keep that steam in. On the top of the oven, you'll see 3 vent holes here. 1, 2, and there's 2 at the back. Actually, there's 4, sorry. And now you can see the steam coming through, and that's a good sign that things are heating up in there. And it smells absolutely wonderful. We've got about 2 more minutes on that high setting of 300 degrees Celsius, and then what we're going to do is we're going to drop the heat down. We might give them a bit of a stir around as well. So another couple of minutes and we'll be having a look and see how these are going. Okay, so my meatballs now, I've had about 15 minutes. I initially gave them 10. I've given them another 5 minutes. It smells fantastic. Look at that. Let's pop them over here. I just closed the oven door and we're going to set the thermostat now to 200 degrees Celsius and let that preheat to 200 or regulate to 200 degrees, and come over here and we'll have a look at our meatballs. Now they smell absolutely delicious. I'm going to add my crushed tomato now and just want to pour that over the meatballs. Okay, so our oven now is preset to 200 degrees. I'm going to sprinkle some nice fresh parsley over the top and some basil as well. Pop them back into the oven, and we want to cook these now for about 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, it's time to get it out of the oven now. There you have it, look at that. Let's pop it over onto our bench here. Okay, it's piping hot. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I want to give that a bit of a kick. Now it's time to just give it a bit of a shake. And I can tell you that I've put this into the oven. None of those meatballs are stuck on the bottom at all. It's just the parsley is cooked beautifully. I don't think you can burn anything in this oven. I really would be surprised if you do have that experience. Let me know, because I can tell you what, I've been cooking for 30 years and the sauce it's not even stuck on the bottom. The sauce is just absolutely beautiful. It's a great consistency. These will freeze really well. And let's go now and just give them a bit of a toss around with that Worcestershire sauce through there. There you have it. That's my first recipe in the Keka's oven. My Italian style meatballs. Please, if you're Italian, don't send me messages saying that's not an authentic recipe, because you know what? It's not. This is my recipe. And look, if you had Italian people at the table, I'm sure that they will be pretty pleased with this. I've got some spaghetti on cooking. I'm going to enjoy this tonight. And then once it's cold and cooled down, I'll be able to bag it up and then freeze it. And I can tell you there is quite a few meatballs there. So many nights that I don't have to cook. All done in the Keka's oven.